Hello, family. My name is Helen, your relationship alarm clock, waking up couples up before love turns to roommate association, a voice that is called to bring truth, healing, and spiritual insight into homes. Today, I want us to expose something silent but deeply powerful: the direct consequences of denied intimacy in marriage. These are the consequences that they don't shout, but they are quietly rearranging your marriage behind your back, even without telling you. They are slowly reshaping your marriage from within. What are those consequences? Let us dive in. First, the invisible competition syndrome. Do you know that when intimacy is denied in marriage, a strange psychological shift begins? Partners begin to compare themselves to outsiders without even realizing it. They begin to become a threat to each other. Everyone around them become a threat to them as well. The colleagues, the stranger, even a harmless compliment becomes a threat. Not because of jealousy, but because intimacy is a mirror that reassures a spouse that they are desired. And when that is no longer there, then everything begins to shift. There is a syndrome that falls upon them. So when the mirror breaks already, the comparison begins silently, killing intimacy, killing marriage before you know it. Second, decreased confidence in spiritual leadership. When intimacy breaks in marriage, many men and women lose his confidence in their spiritual authority at home. A man who feels constantly rejected by his wife will definitely doubt his role as the priest of the family. A woman who feels unwanted now begins to feel like a second guess her influence as the helpmate. These affect prayer lives and then decision making and unity in a very strange way. You might not understand, but a woman who constantly rejects her husband's sexual advances sometimes makes the man to feel lesser than himself. Then there is possibility of him to have inferiority complex. He begin to compete. He begin to see himself as nobody. There will be decreased confidence in his own God-given authority over his own family, which is very, very detrimental. Third, silent identity alteration. Denied intimacy gradually alters how a spouse sees themselves. They begin to think, maybe I'm no longer attractive. Could it be I'm not enough? Could it be someone else would be more appealing? Identity starts to quietly reshape itself in such an environment, and this identity shift will definitely affect career, confidence, social presence, and even how they dress. Everything about such individual will begin to disintegrate gradually. Fourth, the home doesn't feel like home anymore. No more home effect. When intimacy dies, the ambience of the home, like maybe just subtly, will change. The home feels colder, rooms feels emptier, and people start staying longer outside. They get more involved with work, they get more involved in church activities, with friends, anywhere else but not home. Not because they hate home, but because home is no longer feels emotionally safe for them. This is one of the most dangerous silent consequences that kills marriage. Fifth, emotional parentification. This one is extremely uncommon but very, very real. When a spouse is starved of intimacy, they may unintentionally start to place their emotional weight on their children, which is not good. It's not age appropriate. They will begin to confide in their children more deeply. They will seek comfort in them. Then they will be using them as emotional outlet just to channel out their frustration. They will be expecting validation and loyalty from them. This is unhealthy and can distort the children's emotional development. You are feeding them with something that is more than them. So don't crumble your child's emotional development with the burden from your home. This is what I'm about to let you know, that when there is no intimacy in family, there is possibility that your children will begin to become your parent. You begin to replace your significant other with your children. It is inappropriate and dangerous. Sixth, loss of playfulness and friendship. Denied intimacy kills the play in the marriage. Playfulness, like maybe teasing, inside joke, the light-heartedness of your marriage will just disappear. The marriage becomes like maybe a functional mechanical that is only task based. There is no more joy, there is no more high spirit. You cannot come with high spirit. Everything is just down. Friendship is no longer there. Everything becomes mechanical. Nothing is flowing anymore. See, a marriage without playfulness loses the friendship souls of the union, and things will become much more difficult and much more complicated. Seventh, Disruption of hormonal and psychological rhythm. Denied intimacy affects your body in a way that you don't even notice. What about your increased stress hormones? They'll be multiplied. Interrupted sleep pattern, heightened irritability, lowered emotional resilience, and difficulty connecting with others. What about the reduced motivation? These psychological changes affect productivity. They affect the peace of mind and how parents interact daily, how partner interacts daily, how you interact with everybody around you on daily basis. So when your hormone is disrupted, go check it out. It could be because of lack of intimacy in your family. Let me put this as a bonus for my gender here, that you might actually look older than your age. You might you might lose your attractiveness, you might lose your peace that's supposed to come from within, then you might lose your sense, your self-confidence and all of that. You could look older. And do you know why? Because you don't have sexual intimacy over and over again. And then your health could be challenged. I tell you, all those sicknesses that are hormone related could knock on your door and they'll bang on you because you lack intimacy. So go check it out. If you have lost your brightness, if you have lost your attractiveness, it could be because of lack of sexual intimacy in your marriage. 8. Memory of hurt becomes stronger than memory of love. This is very, very dangerous. It is particularly dangerous when intimacy is denied for too long. The brain will begin to store rejection as the dominant memory of that marriage. The small sweet moment becomes overshadowed, and then the painful memories becomes sharper, and the spouse begins to relate from the place of hurt instead of the place of love. That is detrimental. 9th, shift in long-term vision. Denied intimacy affects the future of the marriage in subtle ways. How? Plans will change, dreams will shrink, goals will delay, joint vision will reduce. So when a partner feels disconnected, they stop planning ahead because the marriage no longer feels like a future. Watch out for these signs. 10th, micro withdrawal from shared life. This is the slowest, quietest breakup pattern within marriage. A partner starts withdrawing in tiny ways. They stop sharing daily experiences. They stop asking for opinions. They stop celebrating small wins together. They stop seeking comfort in each other. They keep more secrets. They become emotionally self-sufficient. This micro withdrawal over time becomes the macro separation. That is why so many people have unreconcilable, or they call it irreconcilable differences in marriage, because the gulf in between them can no longer be closed back. It has degenerated into something that is significant, that is of big magnitude, that cannot no longer be brought together easily. Please reignite sexual intimacy in your marriage. Denying intimacy is more than saying no to sex. It is saying no to emotional safety. It is saying no to unity. It is saying no to partnership, to vulnerability, and to the long-term health of your marriage. You see, many of the consequences we discussed today are invisible, yet they are more destructive than the obvious ones. So healing begins with willingness, connection begins with conversations, and restoration begins with humility. Today, before you leave my screen, before I leave your screen, I'll please implore you to choose closeness, choose warmth, choose unity, and then please choose your marriage. Thank you so much for listening to me today. Your home is blessed.